Hello. Let me ask you a question. How many of you would say we are in the industrial age? A couple of folks. Sorry, gang, we are no longer in the industrial age. That ended a few decades ago. What age are we in? The information age, really? No, think again. We are now in the experience age. An age where we're living through the experiences of others. Think about how we use technology today. It's no longer about just pulling information in. It's about how we use that information to really experience life. The challenge for us as business owners is that our employees are now expecting to have experience at work, a true life experience. And if we are not providing a culture that they can thrive in and that brings out the best in them, they're not going to stay there. My name is Ed Crow. I'm a talent transformation expert who helps businesses looking to break through and into the experience age. Because in the experience age, we start to experience 8-figure growth in our businesses. I recall speaking at a conference last year. It was a group of presidents and CEOs that run medical facilities and medical practices. And we were talking about this concept of employment brand. And the concept of an employment brand is where your people love your work environment so much that they become recruiters and talkers up of your place of employment, much like a customer would on your marketing brand. And at the end of my talk, CEO comes up to me. He says, "Ed, my name is Mike. Here is my card. We got to talk." I looked at his card, said, "Sure, Mike. How can I help you?" He says, "Ed, I believe that my HR function is actively inhibiting the growth of my practice." I said, "Okay, well, let's schedule a call. Let's chat a little bit about this. I know I can help you." And so the following week, we had a chat, and I found out some of his biggest problems were this. They had 50 open positions at that point in time, and it was taking their HR department on average 45 days to fill a position. Their employment brand was pretty much in the toilet. Many employees would not refer their friends and family to go work there. And this was a shame because the medical practice was tops in their region for the services that they provided. They had an awesome marketing brand. But this CEO was savvy enough to understand that if he couldn't fix his employment brand, that was going to seep into and hurt his marketing brand. Further keeping him up at night was the fact that they wanted to open up a new campus across town. This was going to create another 75 jobs. And his thought was, well, if HR can't do what it needs to do now, how are they going to do it at the next facility? And he said, "Ed, if I don't get that facility open on time, the docs are going to have my head. Can you help me?" I said, "Absolutely." We laid out a 9-month plan to bring his organization into the experience age. You see, the company was so focused, uber focused, on their customer and patient experience, which was phenomenal. But they didn't have that same focus on creating a great experience for their employees. Hence the recruiting issues. So we had to fix their culture. But we started off with the processes that were not in place to develop a culture. We fixed their processes. We trained their management team. We realigned HR, all to get them focused on the processes and creating the environment that the employees wanted. You see, I believe the employment relationship is quite simple. We reward our people for their time and their talent and their efforts. They, in turn, use those time, talent, and efforts to help drive our business goals. And when these two things are aligned, the magic happens. Theirs was getting out of balance, and they were starting to suffer. In 9 months, we fixed that. I remember being in the CEO's office on the last day, And he's sitting there, and he's a big golfer, and we start talking about golf. And he said, "Ed, I can't thank you enough for what you did for us." And I said, "Well, thank you. Do you have, what kind of feedback are you hearing?" He said, "Let me tell you something. Those 45 positions, we're down to only 15 that are open now. The 45 days to fill a position, it's down to about 20 or 21. But he said, as you know, in 3 months, we're opening up the new facility, right on schedule. I know that wouldn't have happened if I hadn't found you." And that's the biggest compliment that I could think of. And I said, "Well, that's because you're now caring about your people in a different way. You've brought them into the experience age, and you're making working here a joy for them. They're medical professionals who have a calling to care and help others. And you're allowing them to bring their full selves to work every day." And you see, that's what employees in the experience age need and crave. Now, I took a call almost about the same time, actually, from a $500 million snack food manufacturer. And I had done some projects with them previously that were successful. And so I was pleased when Tom, who's their vice president of HR, called and said, "Ed, we've got a facility that it's just not performing the way we want it to perform. In fact, it's off about $1.5 million a year, and we can't quite figure out why. We'd like you to come in and take a look and help us figure this out." I said, "Absolutely, would love to help you with that." So conducted my assessment, started to see what was going on there, put a plan together to fix it, and I sat down with the management team to review that plan. Smiles on their faces. "Ed, this is it. This is going to work." I said, "I know it is. I know it's going to work. We're going to get you back on track." They said, "There's only one problem." I said, "What's that?" "We don't have money in the budget to fix the problem." I said, "So you have $1.5 million problem. This project costs a fraction of that. You're going to start to see some savings almost immediately. How doesn't that make sense?" And they said, "Well, we just don't have the money in the budget. We may have to do it another time." Now, you might be sitting there and saying, "Well, gosh, who would make a decision like that?" Most of us wouldn't. If we were presented with a problem and we had a solution that we were guaranteed to work at a fraction of the cost, we'd all probably jump on that. And I've often thought about, why didn't they jump on it? And I come back to one word: complacency. They were so stuck in knowing the old saying, "The devil you know is better than the devil you don't." And they were so stuck in that. They were so used to writing that $1.5 million off every single year that they said, "You know what? It's too scary to change." But here's the problem. It's not just about that $1.5 million a year that they're willing to continue to write off. It's about the fact that they've got an aging workforce. And as this workforce retires out, they're already seeing that they're having trouble bringing new people into the fold. Why? Because they're stuck in the industrial age. They never even made it to the information age in this facility. So there's no way they can possibly fix their problem without getting their people into the experience age. Here's the challenge that I'd make for all of you. What's your vision for your company right now? Maybe you have a formal vision and a strategic plan mapped out, and maybe you don't. Maybe it's just up here. And that would be okay. But get that in your head right now. What is the vision you have for your company? Maybe you want to increase market share. Maybe you have a revenue number you want to hit. Maybe you want to break into a new market, a new geographic market. Whatever that is, the only way to get there is to ensure that your culture matches what today's employees want. I have the plan that can help you bring your vision to fruition. So what I ask you to do right now is go ahead and get your phones out. please go to my website, edcrow.com. There's a link right there on the homepage. One easy click gets you 30 free minutes with me. We'll outline your vision. We'll outline where you want to go. We'll figure out the plan in those 30 minutes. I can help you realize your vision. I can get you from where you are today. Hopefully it's not complacency island, but I can get you over to the island of experience age. And there's cool stuff happening over there. The cool kids are hanging out on Experience Island. Why? Because market share is improving. Employee satisfaction's through the roof over there. Employees want to come work for the businesses that are hanging out over there. And most importantly, owners are seeing their visions realized. So if you're ready to have your business vision realized, I'd like to connect with you, and I appreciate your time today.